going to do the most incredible thing today. Give the history of 14 billion years in 4 minutes. That is the target. So, since I had to compress so much, I am not going to waste much time. For about 14 billion years ago, there was a big bang. What was before that? At least we don't have the technology to know what was happening before that. So we consider the beginning of our universe 14 billion years ago. And after a few thousands of years, atoms started forming, like hydrogen and helium. And then it went on expanding and organizing. After about 10 billion years, that is about 4 billion years ago, we started having stars, planets, and much more expanded universe. Expansion continued. In about 13 billion years ago, not 13 billion years ago, at the age of 13 billion years of the planet, about 3 billion years ago, our solar system was formed 3-4 billion years ago. And the initial life forms started forming. And it is about 1,000 million years ago, the cells with the nucleus formed. Okay, and they continued evolving into more than one cells, like a fish, like the birds, like snakes, and ultimately frog, amphibians, and ultimately mammals, and ultimately monkeys. That was also about 1 billion years ago. And then gradually there's I'm sorry, it took more than several million years ago, okay, hundreds of millions years ago. The monkeys are all formed. And about 100,000 years ago, first humans were formed. And we don't have any written history of humanity which is more than 10,000 years old, okay, much less than that. Now, around the turn of last century, there was a priest, Belgian priest, who was the first one to say that the universe must be expanding and extrapolating back, there should be a singularity, and they call it the Big Bang theory. Okay, and as humans developed more, there were a lot of theories were formed about what makes us what we are, what is the nature of the things we see around. And around 2500 years ago, there was a Greek guy, Democritus, who said when you cut things smaller and smaller and smaller, we come to a point where it cannot be cut any further. Okay, he called it atomos, means uncuttable. But about 100 years later, there was a great guy came, Aristotle, the tutor of Alexander the Great. Okay, Aristotle said, no way, this is going to be forever. It is an ad infinitum. It will never reach a single point. Okay, so unfortunately, what Aristotle said was assumed to be true. Everybody believed it. Everybody ignored Democritus. But then it took more than almost 2000 years for Dalton in 1800s propounded the Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, and that is much more scientific and valid. One of the main principles of Dalton's theory is atoms are uncuttable. That means the ultimate point, ultimate unit of matter, and compounds are formed by their combinations in simple ratios. Okay, then it waited till end of 19th century. By 1897, J.J. Thomson proved that atoms have other components like negatively charged electron and positively charged nucleus. Okay, and that was a major revolution. Okay, and what happened after that? That is going to be a much more detailed information. I will explain in the next video. Thank you.